19th. I'm looking for approval or corrections to the August 5th, 2024 meeting minutes.
I'll make them.
Accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on. Comments from the public. Mr. Freeze, you have anything for us today?
Not yet.
No. Mr. Cooper, you good?
Not yet.
All righty. Moving on. Mr. Frame, reports from the Harbor Master.
All right, well, I don't really have anything of any significance for tonight. Everything is pretty much normal for the middle of August. So we continue to do our dockside pump outs once a week. We've lost pretty much all of our summer help kids during the week, so they're just here on weekends. So we do have the gas dock actually staffed on weekends, but not so much during the week, just as needed. As you probably saw from the parking lot today, there's not a lot of people around. So unless anybody has any questions, that's where I'll leave it.
Anybody? Everybody good? Mr. Messina, you good? Any questions?
I have nothing.
All right. All right, well, moving on to reports from the Assistant Harbor Master Administration, Mrs. Plicky.
I don't have anything big either, just getting ready with seasonal changes.
Get ready for budgets.
Budget, yeah.
Anything, anybody have for Mrs. Plicky? Any questions for her? Seeing none, we're going to move on to Mr. Ferguson. Budget and financial oversight review, approval of the bills to be paid.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just two things. One of obviously is the bills, and then one just to briefly talk about some CD renewals. Let's talk about the bills on the summary page. You can see that we list $26,577.42 of the bigger items. And there's another 4,000 or so of smaller items that are on the next page. And the total then comes to $30,516.99, and that's what I'll be seeking a vote on. I'm going to walk down some of these things on some of the items on this front page. Water department, pretty straightforward. The legal expense, kind of on the minor side, that had been submitted.
And that's for 2 months.
Excuse me? Right. Disposal, just to help out with the boat race over and above. A couple things on security, pretty straightforward also. Fuel and some extra additional trash service. That all totals, you can see, the $26,577. I didn't notice any big items of the 4,000 on the second page that were really noteworthy to discuss particularly. However, those can be asked about at any time now or in the future. But knowing what we see in that front page, I'll make a motion that we pay, as stated, the $30,516.99.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions? Everybody good? All in favor for paying the bills, say aye. Aye. We're paying the bills.
The second thing I have is we have a couple of CDs, significant ones that we keep in reserve, that they're coming due in the next 2.5 weeks, something of that general nature. Mary Ann's taken a really good look at the various rates and maturities, several pages worth here, and she's scrutinized this along with the bankers. And Mr. President and I have looked at that with her, and we've made a suggestion that we'd like to give Mary Ann the authority to go ahead and renew these as appropriately between a rate of 4.75 and 5% at an annual maturity of 1 year, which is almost what all of these are. There's a ton going on, and they're going to be coming due or available, not exactly today, but in the next week or so. So rather than wait and get lost in the shuffle, as she has suggested, that we want to proact to give her authority. So I'm making a motion that we we let Mary Ann, at the appropriate time on these two CDs, take a rate between 4.75 and 5%, which is what all of these fall within, at a maturity on or about 1 year. So that's a little different than what we normally do when these come up. Usually wait until the last minute, and sometimes because of board meetings, we lose a little interest because we don't get the rates in on time and we've lost the expiring one. So we're just proactive. There are lots of rates coming up. So anyway, that's what I'm proposing. That's what I'm making a motion on. 4.75 to 5% maturity of year. Give that authority to Mary Ann as these due dates come up.
I'll second that.
I know you're looking good. Yeah, that's gonna yield about 37 grand.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions or any thoughts? All right, all,
I just have a comment to make. As I mentioned, a lot of times we'll wait until kind of the last minute to do this. This is truly doing a little due diligence ahead of time, and I applaud Mary Ann for digging into this ahead of time, so, for what it's worth.
you're all in favor?
Aye. I'll say.
Anything else, Mr. Ferguson?
No, that's it, thank you.
All right, Mr. Haynes, claims and insurance.
Did we hear back from Eleanor Roofing?
Not yet. I sent him an email, but I haven't gotten a response yet.
That's all I have.
Anybody have questions for Mr. Haynes?
Are we talking about damage to the roof?
We had them come and evaluate the roofs after the hailstorm,
Yeah.
and they were gonna put together a little report, and I haven't seen that yet. So I've emailed them asking, are you gonna send us a report? Yeah.
Would we have to put that out for bid?
If we decided to do the work, we would, yeah.
Okay.
This is just an evaluation saying, yeah, you should look at replacing the roof or don't worry about it. You know,
Because I don't think it's really beneficial if we went after an insurance claim on it, quite honestly, at this point.
yeah.
I mean, we got up to 2 years to make an insurance claim on a damaged roof, but
Yeah.
at this point, let's,
I know another company that's very reasonable and they do a fantastic job. So,
well, there's a few good ones out in our area, so.
I would just say, we don't want to wait 2 years.
No,
We have to give them
No,
notice.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that's, that's the window.
Right.
But, no, we,
We gotta give notice of the claim promptly.
correct.
Is there visible damage?
I've not seen any.
well, that's what the insurance,
No, I understand, I just said visible. I just keep giving.
yeah, we'll have to get up there to see it. I had a,
Depends how many ice cubes fell where.
It's okay. Thank you.
All right, port operations, personnel, marina policy, pretty much everything's status quo, everything's going on. I haven't seen anything come up, but I think, all the employees, I think, did really well all the summer help. And had anyone say anything negative to me about any of the personnel. I am hearing complaints at the gas dock, and every once in a while you get those. I did have one idea that I came up with this, for our high school students, maybe putting their graduating class up on their sleeves, so when these boaters pull out, they know they're dealing with a high school student, not somebody, so that they have a little more common sense about it. Just a thought. So, I mean, there's nothing etched in stone, but just to have them be able to have that on there, just so some boater doesn't come up there and have an out-of-bounding experience because they're dealing with a high school student. That's my only thought there. So, but other than that, everything's going quite well. All right, Mr. Messina, Boater Communications, Special Events.
I haven't really been down to the boat with actually the past week and a half because of weather. The water has warmed up tremendously from 2 weeks ago, the storm. And we got at least 70-degree water all the way out to 72 foot.
Wow.
So this is going to move the fish further and further out, including the perch. So I really didn't have a reason to come down, so I have nothing to report.
Alright. And Mr. Banner, Master Planning Special Projects and Park Liaison.
Yeah, talking about the dredging that we've been looking at, I'd like to give our gentleman here the authority to move forward with this. It would start with the borings and the permits to do this dredging. Doesn't mean, I mean, you got like what, a 5-year permit, and doesn't mean we have to do it right away, but I'd like to get started on it, and it's, the cost of this for the borings and the permits would be $25,000. And I've already checked with our treasurer, and he says we have that money to do that, so I'd like to move forward with that. I don't think we need a motion for that, do we?
I don't believe so.
No.
We've talked about that enough in the past.
Right.
I mean, we've talked dredging for quite a while, and what we do.
It's a necessity, it's gonna have to
Yeah,
happen, it's just a matter of when, so.
Yeah.
And we're not just, we're not planning on being at our full expense, there's other avenues for us to recoup it, but we have to get there.
Right.
We have to have everything in line, so we can present a package and go, this is what we wanna do.
That's just a start.
That's just our start, so.
Did we have a line item budgeted for dredging?
I don't think it's necessary. We have a line item in our budget now for calls for a lot of that kind of stuff. We have a huge budget for that, and Tim has a direct authority over. We scrutinized that at one of our
Meetings.
one of Bruce's committee meetings. Yeah, we're good.
At this point, it's all just engineering.
I'm sorry?
It's just engineering at this point.
Right.
It's getting a plan so we can recoup for the plan.
Sure, okay.
We got the depth marks, platted out.
Oh, yeah.
Are
They
we,
surveyed it.
yeah, are they going to do it again beforehand?
No.
Like before dredging or
Yes.
before the next step? Well, depending on how far down the road,
Right.
probably,
Yeah.
right? Because that's gonna change year to year.
What was the rate of that last,
I can show you after the meeting. You know,
so if we have to do that again within the next 4 or 5 years?
the cost of doing that?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't remember right off. Do you remember what the cost was of the
I
bathymetrics?
got it at
I'm
home.
not sure that Colin gave that information directly yet.
Right,
who did that?
Edgewater.
I thought I did that.
And that was just a couple $1,000 just to
Okay.
do it. It's pretty good graph. I don't think either one of us have copies of it, but he can show it to you.
Okay.
It was
It's really good.
2,178 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact numbers.
If I may, just, when we do any dredging, we got the federal channel, and then on the sides is what we are responsible for. The federal channel, as Tim will show you, looks pretty good right now. But we know it's not always gonna be good, and once that happens, we can tag on and do the sides down to Spring Point and then across the street from Trail Creek Marinas, both of them. We're just trying to look ahead. As I say, Tim could show you the depths that he has shown on this one sheet we got from Edgewater.
Yeah, I got that in the car.
I never got a copy. Tim never gave me.
For purposes of dredging the federal channel, is that exclusively the jurisdiction of the Army Corps? And then for our portion of the channel, we can send it out for bid, right? The Army Corps doesn't do ours, or do they?
Well, normally what happens is we piggyback on their contractor because you get such a much better price.
Okay, so we don't send that out for bid, or we do, but we always get the lower.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Because it's been so long. Last time we did it like that was 2002.
Oh, okay, because if it's exclusively the jurisdiction of the Army Corps, we don't have to send it out.
Right, the federal channel is.
Right. But ours isn't necessarily.
Right.
Okay, but the Army Corps contractor is probably, as you point out, going to be cheaper than anybody else that bids.
Right.
It's
Okay.
already there. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
No, that's all.
Mhm.
Well, I did attend the meeting of the park board, but I had no report.
That lively. That lively of a meeting, huh?
Well, they do a lot of stuff, but not much of it pertains to us, you know, so.
Good. All right, any questions for Mr. Mayor? No? All right. Mr. Cypress, advertising and public relations.
I have nothing to report presently.
Okay, the most exciting report of the day, Mr. Zachman, attorney.
It's that time of year again, the State Board of Accounts is beginning to conduct its audit of the city of Michigan City. And in connection with that audit, I received what we call an accountant's letter questionnaire. And it asks, in this case, the Port Authority, if we have any notice of any actual or potential material claims. For purposes of this response, material is defined as a claim of $3,450,000 or more. I am unaware of any such claim. I've consulted with the president and with staff, haven't heard of anybody who's aware of any such claim. Now, obviously, there's no actual claim, but I'll put it out to the board. Is anyone aware of any potential claim that would reach the materiality threshold of $3,450,000? Okay, if not, I will report in our response to the auditor's letter questionnaire that we have no knowledge of any actual or potential material claims. And I'll get that letter out probably tomorrow. If anybody would like to see a copy of it, I'm happy to email it to you. And that's all I have.
All right, anything from Mr. Zachman? No. New business, Kim, you had some things you wanted to go over with us?
Yeah, so last time I kind of thought about maybe doing a little Christmas card for our military personnel. So I kind of put together little packets of 5 cards per. I'm keeping the envelopes just so the cards come back, because without an envelope, you know, cards can't. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to put up the little flyer near the ladies' room, the men's room, and then also near the office where I would like to put the basket. And that's the one that says, Michigan City Port Authority would like to have you work with us to do some cards for service members. I went out and found a bunch of cards, really expensive. I've already put some packets together. You got one sitting at your desk, which I'll ask for those back at the end of the meetings. And I just wondered if the board would be likely to want to encourage that. I did also print out information on a couple of different places where we can send our cards when we get them all finished. Of course, their deadline's December 1st. I'm asking for October 1st. That way, if we have to come up with some monetary for stamps, I mean, it just kind of depends on how the program rolls and what the board would like to do. But I did kind of get it all together. Second thing I kind of put together and started thinking about was possibly a scavenger hunt for next year. I had prepared a letter for Attorney Zachman to look at, kind of softly soliciting items from local businesses here on the north end just to get us started. I kind of thought that maybe we could do groups 16 and under and 16 and over. Once a month, have a scavenger hunt. Each group would have a different item to find on the Port Authority's grounds. And then the first person who finds it brings us a picture of it. We give them a prize. And we do that once a month for 6 months. So that was another thing for Attorney Zachman to kind of look at and kind of see how he felt, and then the board to kind of, you know, decide if that's something that they'd be interested in. Just to give folks a little something to do while they're out, you know, maybe pay attention to stuff they hadn't paid attention to before. And again, getting the businesses to know they're here, and then the voters to know what businesses are available for them too. That's it right now.
I have a question. Tim, do we have the support to be able to do that, employee-wise, to be able to take care of something like that?
Well, I think I'd need a little more detail to figure out what exactly we're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know.
And it could be something as easy as an anchor that's in an odd place that they wouldn't normally see, like, oh, it's an anchor, but like, that's the anchor you're looking for, but they would walk by it a million times because there's anchors everywhere. Or perhaps it's a seagull that's, you know, perched on top of the ladies' room. I mean, nobody really looks up there, or, you know, things of that nature. Maybe it could be a sticker for the kids that would be stuck on something that can come off, for them to find a smiley face or a yellow popsicle or something like that.
So you're not saying that we actually have to place things around for them to find?
Yeah.
Stuff that's already there?
Well, no, we would place things there, but they would be small items that I could place, or I could possibly work with Brian and maybe one of his staff. But it's not gonna be large items. Like, this would be like probably the largest thing that I would put out there. I'm not looking for big stuff. I'm just, again, even if it's a yellow popsicle sticker and the kids are looking for it, where are they gonna look? They're gonna be looking everywhere. Well, there it is, stuck on the side of the pop machine. Nothing too obtrusive, nothing too labor intensive, just something to get people to start looking around. Something to do.
Well, I would say 6 months is a long time. I would think that if we do something like that, this is just my opinion, if we do something like that, maybe we should try it for a month and see how it goes. If people aren't interested in that, there's no sense in keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
Right, because I was just gonna do one for 6 months, like April or May, June, July, August, September, and then be done. So there would be one for the adult in May and one for the kid in May, and that's it. When somebody finds it, that's it, we're done for May. Then we would move on to the next month, which would be June.
Well, I would say just do 1 month. and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. We
And
can
if you
try
get
it.
success on 1 month, then we could go forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm
That's
okay
my-
with that.
That's my point.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
That's
okay
the way I
with that. But
feel
again,
about it.
it's gonna depend on the attorney getting back to me with the letter and if we're able to actually pull it all together, but it wouldn't be this year, it'd be next year. This is forward for next year.
And there's nothing that's just like right on the spot.
Correct.
Would this be just our boaters? Or would
Correct.
this be for the community?
No, this would just be for Michigan City Port Authority, visitors, boats,
Slip holders.
slip holders, the people who pay to be here. Something for them and their kids to kind of do.
Attorney could work with Tim and Marianne to work on details,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then Joe, of course.
Yeah, I'll review this and get you confidence.
absolutely. Thank you.
We don't have any old business. Anything, Coop? No? You good? You all good now? Mr. Rossini, you got
Get it from Mrs. Buck, anything new on the boat auction? We got an inventory of what we have?
No, we're still working on the inventory truck rate.
Did you miss Chris?
No.
Where the hell was I?
Down the river. All right, no table subjects, and anybody else have anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Third. 5:22.
Smarter